Alright guys, what is up? This is Brandon back here on Motornubs. A couple people have been asking me what's going on, like, you know, did your car blow up, blah blah blah, because in the last video I was at jmills tuning, we were putting stuff on it, and it was getting really close to being able to time to dyno it, but it has not been dynoed yet. It's just waiting around back. The only thing I have left to put on the car is the 4-bar map sensor, the 1000cc injectors, and the boost controller. Basically everything that's gonna make the big power. But I'm gonna put that on when we actually go to tune the car, because when I put the injectors in and the map sensor, the car will no longer be drivable until it gets a remap or a reflash or retune, whatever you want to call it. But just making this quick little update video. And also I had a couple people asking about if I still had my truck. I do have my truck, and I have been daily driving it up until these last couple days. It's been really cold, and my glow plugs are going out in the truck, which if you have a diesel, you know what I'm talking about. It gets harder to start, so I've been having to turn it over more, and I just killed the starter in it. So 380,000 miles. I believe it is the actual stock starter, so it's earned another one. But I left it at work because it was really cold the other day, and I drove my work truck home. So now I'm actually driving back to work because it's warm. It's really warm today. It's Sunday, February something, February 10th, I think. Hold on, I got my phone right here. February 11th, and it's like 70 degrees. I don't know where y'all are watching this from, but it's unusually warm compared to what it was just, you know, a couple days ago. So while it's warm, my truck should start up a little bit easier. I'm gonna take y'all with me and watch me try to get this thing started up. I'm gonna get it home, park it, and try to get the starter off. And yeah, so if you're only interested in Integra stuff, you could probably just cut this video now, and if you want to actually watch some stuff with the truck, you can keep on watching. So let's go. Alright, so here she is, old reliable. This is a 2001 F250. It's got the 7.3 liter V8 diesel Power Stroke. I've told this story a couple times, but I used to own this truck back in like 2010. I had it for a couple years, and then I sold it. And the reason I sold it is because it got, you know, miles got up there. It got up to like 310,000 miles. And my dad convinced me, yeah, you probably need to get rid of it. It's going to break down, that kind of thing. So I had lifted this truck up, done these wheels and tires on it. But I sold it to a boy down in South Carolina, and I always kept in contact with him. And I was like, if you ever sell this truck, let me have first chance on it. Well, anyway, like 5 years later, it's 2017, he calls me up and he's like, hey, you know, I want to sell the truck. So I'm like, what do you want for it? Well, he's like, it needs some work. It's skipping and all kinds of stuff. And he ended up selling it back to me for $6,500. I sold this truck for, I believe, $12,000 or $12,500. So I definitely got a deal back on it. At least I think it's a deal. Somebody left some Mountain Dew on it. So I think it was a deal. Had to do a little bit to it to get it right. It's gonna need tires soon. I don't want to run these wheels anymore, so it's gonna need some TLC. And now the starter has actually died on it, but it's got 380,000 miles on it, and you know what? It's earned a starter. Let's see. Hold on. Check out the miles. Let me zoom in on them. 383,000. So yeah, it's time for a starter. Let's see if I can actually get it started up. Let's see here. And the glow plugs are out in it too, so like, you know, cycle the glow plugs. Wait, the start light. I'm gonna cycle the glow plugs twice. This is a 70-degree day outside, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Obviously, it would be lava out here. All right, let's go. Woo! Woo! Oh yeah, there we go. See? And that's what I'm talking about. When it's warm outside, the starter's fine. Well, actually, I don't think I mentioned this. When it's warm outside, the truck will start. It doesn't like starting because the glow plugs are out in it, but when it's warm, it will actually start. But the starter, whenever it's any kind of cold, the starter will start turning the motor over and it'll kick back in. So it'll go, and then it won't want to kick out at all. So I believe that's called the Bendix on the starter. The Bendix is going bad. And I looked it up online. It's actually cheaper just to replace the whole starter unit than it is to try to take mine off and rebuild it, because it's just so old. So yeah, at least it did start up, and I'm gonna drive it home, back it in, and get to working on it. So let's let this thing warm up though. It needs to warm up. Alright guys, so I got the truck home. I cleaned up a little bit. I kind of consolidated everything over here. I got a bunch of like oil cans. I got some metal, like exhaust. So I'm going to go through this and see what my friends, if they want or need any of these parts. And then I'm basically going to be taking the rest to the scrapyard, because I got to get all this mess cleaned up. I can't be having all this kind of stuff just, you know, hanging around, dirtying up everywhere. But now that I got the truck here, I'm gonna probably fix a couple things that I've been needing to, because that leads me into my next thing. I'm actually buying like a daily driver. See, the Integra started out as I'm gonna buy it, drive it around a little bit. Well, it's kind of turned into like, I don't know how I can say it. It blows up all the time. So I want like a actual daily driver. My girlfriend's got the Audi. She works really far away in the opposite direction, so it's not like we can carpool or anything like that. But I did find a car. We're going tomorrow to go look at it, and I'll just give a little hint. It is Japanese. I don't want to give too much away. It's 2 doors, and it's not all-wheel drive. I'll leave it at that. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, it's automatic. I don't like that it's automatic, but not a bad car, especially for the money. It's a really good deal price-wise. I was gonna go get it today. There's a couple little issues with it though. He said he would get those taken care of, and we'd make a deal tomorrow. So I'm super excited about that. So look for that video tomorrow, and I'm gonna fix it up a little bit. I'm probably just gonna do like wheels, tires, window tint, normal stuff. But it'll be a good car just to drive back and forth, because the truck is actually starting to eat up a little bit on gas and maintenance. When people, okay, if you're a diesel guy, you're still watching. Well, if you're a truck guy, hopefully you're still watching. When your parents and everybody else says it's more expensive to own a diesel truck, absolutely it is more expensive. Oil changes, I mean everything is more expensive. Starters, everything. I mean, what is cheap about owning a diesel? Nothing. I mean, maybe longevity, because I don't know if I'd be getting 400,000 miles out of a gas truck. But yeah, everything else is more expensive. I'm not trying to talk anybody out of it. I absolutely love my truck. You know, before I had this, I had the gas Dodge truck. So don't think I'm like trying to discourage them. These are awesome trucks, but just know that they are expensive too. And literally, it's cheaper for me to buy like $1,000 beater to drive back and forth to work than it is to actually fix all the issues on my truck right now. Just off the top of my head, I was thinking of them as I was coming over here. I need a starter, and the good high torque starter is like 300 bucks. I need my whole front end redone, and I need a steering box. Remanufactured steering box, I was looking, it's like 500 bucks. Tie rod ends, everything else, run me another couple hundred. And that's just to get the front end tightened up. Then it needs shocks. All the shocks are busted on it. This thing rides like a wooden wagon. The tires are wore out on it. Some of them, I have 2 actually. The front tires right here, front tires are good. It's the back tires that have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 30-seconds left. So it's gonna need tires on it, and if you've ever bought big tires, it's expensive. Literally, this truck, to be like solid and everything good on it, it needs probably, I don't know, $2,500. And I don't want to have somebody else do that, but I don't want to get started on taking it apart and then having to force myself to like get it back together that night so I can drive it the next day. If I have a daily driver, I can take my time with it, take it apart, fix on it a little bit. If I run into a problem, I can wait, order the parts and actually fix it right instead of having to like band-aid it or doctor it up because I have to drive it the next day. So that's my whole reasoning behind it, and it gives me an excuse to buy another car. Any excuse to buy another car is always a good excuse. So, you know, yeah, that's what I told my girlfriend. Yeah, we need another car. She doesn't watch these, luckily, but I'm gonna pop the hood and see what's going on. I think I definitely still have a boost leak. I changed out the intercooler on this truck. Normally these have a plastic intercooler. I put an aluminum intercooler in it now, but all the boots were looking pretty bad. I should, see, prime example, I should have changed all the boots out on the intercooler, but I didn't have them at that time, and I had to put the truck back together because I had to drive it, so I couldn't actually do it right. So now I'm gonna have to take all that back apart and put new boots on my intercooler pipes, and yeah, so because it's still leaking. I'm only making like 15 psi boost, and this has got a different turbo on it with a billet wheel, and it should easily be doing in the 30s, like 30 psi. It's a non-wastegated turbo, and there's no boost control on it, so it literally just makes all the boost, like all of it. So yeah, I should be doing 30, 35 plus. But yeah, so I'm excited, really stoked about that. I'm looking out for a set of wheels and tires for it. I'm leaning towards like some 20s with a little bit of offset. I like where it's at right now with the truck just barely poking out, if you can see that. I don't want to go like, you know, crazy Mexican way out here. My brother's got somewhere in between like what I got and like the crazy stuff. His sticks out maybe like, I don't know, this much. I think he's got like negative 24 maybe. I don't know. He's got a Dodge though, so they're allowed to be hanging them way out there. But I'm just rambling on. I'm gonna go up underneath here and take a look at the starter just so I at least know what starter I need to get, because there's like 3 different options. But yeah, so really stoked about the car for tomorrow. Gosh, I just want to tell y'all. Actually, you know what? Comment down below if you're watching this and it's still like a relevant video. If it's an old video, don't comment, by the way. You could just go to the next one and see what it is. But comment down below, and whether I buy it or not, or I'll at least tell you in the next video that I release what the car was. So Japanese, what else did I tell you? What other hints? Automatic, and I'll give you a horsepower range. It has over 199 horsepower. So it's in the family of the 200 club. So it's got over 199, less than 300. So go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you think it is. If you get it, I don't know, I'll do something. I'll give you some props on the next video or something. Maybe send you a sticker. I'm horrible about sending stickers out, but I'll do something. I doubt anybody's gonna get it. Not at least the exact like what it is. If somebody gets close, I'll watch these comments and I'll comment back like to let them know like if they're getting hotter or colder. But yeah, so super excited about that. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna try to, you know what, I'm gonna try to get like a little fancy shot of the truck now.